Hi, welcome to the first episode of HNK Marketing Show. I am Mishra and we will take you over the new fresh marketing ideas. We are very sure that marketing need not be boring and complex.
Hi, this is Khalid here and welcome to the HNK Show. The HNK Show is a show that Hemant and I have put together, which we will be sharing with you from time to time, covering different aspects of marketing and communication. The whole idea is that this show is by the practitioners and for the practitioners and everyone else who is interested to know about the developments in marketing and communication to do one's job better or in general get a better perspective.
Today we are going to talk about the changing customer. The customer has always been a moving target. So we will just take you through the journey, how customer has changed over a period of time and how do we sell to the new customer at this juncture. You know, over a period of time, your customer is changing and changing very rapidly. So I would just like to ask Khalid, how according to him the consumer has changed during last 30 years? Yes, Khalid.
Then and now there is a vast difference. Then you could have a sweeping campaign which would cover literally all strata of society by and large. Today it's highly fragmented. People talk about the millennial generation, people talk about the Z generation. Now again, whether those terminologies are applicable in this kind of Asian demographics by itself is questionable, because when you look at us here in our country, the aspirations, the responsibilities, the outlook when you are a 10-year-old will be very different than when you are 20-year-old or when you are 30-year-old. Exactly opposite of what someone in Europe or America would have. Therefore, lately, though it has been a catchphrase of millennial, but the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Government of India itself is grappling with this challenge, how to define millennial, because the age group of 23 to 37 is pretty vast and the outlook in this demography is vastly different than others. So having said it, if you were marketing a product in Europe or America, the challenge will be very different than what you would face here in India. And I would go to the extent of saying that the stratification is far more sharper, much larger, much expansive in this part of the world than anywhere else. And therefore, you have a gigantic task at hand when you are addressing the customers from different strata.
You know, what I think, Khalid, is when I started my marketing in, early 80s, life was very simple for marketing people. All we had to do was create a product and probably advertise in Doordarshan. And literally everybody saw my product. Everybody saw my message and your product flew off the shelves. In the early 90s, the private channels started coming, that is Z and Sony. And in 1995, I think internet came and the whole scenario changed. Your customers became more demanding, more discerning, and your customers started wanting different ads for different products. Slowly, I believe the customer changed every 5 years, and today I see a huge difference in my customer, which was about 25 years back, and today's customer. Today's customer is what we call as Generation Z, or the people who were born between 1997 and 2010, or what we can say is the people below the age of about 23, 24 years old. So the main challenge today is how do you market to these set of people who are completely different than what we faced in 80s and 90s of our time, right? So if I have to ask you, how do you define today's Generation Z or people who are very young? How do you market to them is the issue. But I just want to know, how do you basically understand, what do you understand for today's generation?
See, the whole game has changed. The game change has been precipitated by the advancement in technology. For example, if you travel widely here in our country, go from town to town, village to village, you will be surprised to discover that youngsters are widely equipped with smartphones. They can track down a program on Sony or any other television channel. They can look at the weather forecasting. They can look at the prices of their produce. This is the way things have changed. So how are you engaging with them? Because they are not going to be taken away completely by your one-piece advertisement. No. So it boils down to a very simple thing, that experiencing the proposition will determine how far you are successful. When we talk about voice enabled, now the person, let's say in a small village in Nagpur district, may not know, but the voice enability gives him the option to do what he wants to do. So as a marketer, you have to adopt, whether it is Google Assistant or voice-based search or anything like that, which means automation. So as a marketer, if you are not into automating communication, you have a gigantic task. The traditional methodology of the late 90s or even 2000 would not work.